Warhawk Authority podcast continues as we continue our fall sports previews. And this week we take a look at Warhawk Volleyball. Second year head coach Reid Gann joining us this week. Coach, I think year two, it's certainly a different look when I look at that roster. A lot I'm sure that you learned from year one. I think that's where I want to start is, to go through it last year, kind of the crash course of what the Sun Belt's all about and building this ULM volleyball program. Just what did you learn in year one to set you up for down the road?
Yeah, we're excited about year two. The off season for volleyball always seems long, so we're excited to get back and play in some meaningful matches soon. And volleyball is in the air, and we just finishing up our first week of practice, and it's a real competitive gym right now. We've got some good position battles, which competition in your gym is always a good thing, right? And we're looking forward to kind of seeing what transpires with that. But yeah, year two of our journey to build something here that the ULM fan base and alumni can be proud of. The Sun Belt will be rugged like always this year, and but we definitely took steps in the right direction this past year. And the program is trending in a positive direction. From a recruiting standpoint, you want your 26 class to be better than 25 and your 27 class to be better than 26. That's it's always how you envision it. And we made 4 portal moves, to bring in some experience and maturity. And we're hoping that, a good talented freshman class and some portal pieces will translate well on the scoreboard for us. But yeah, we're hitting the ground running and working hard and excited just to see how things play out for us.
I know as looking at the roster breakdown too, I can't quite come up with the number myself. So what's the breakdown between returners and newcomers? Because it feels heavy in the newcomer side of it.
Yeah, I would say we're 70% newcomers, which I do think will be a positive thing for us. And again, we're going to be a little older and more mature. We've got some young ladies with Sun Belt experience coming back. So again, we're hoping that a little bit more maturity and experience is going to show up on the scoreboard for us. So.
You've been through a week at this point as we talk. Just what have you seen from this group that has, now that you're into official practices, where does everything sit right now?
Well, we're healthy. That's one positive. No ankle issues or anything like that. But yeah, they're working hard. They seem to be really hungry, to come in here and do things the right way. Really good attitudes and work ethic, taking coaching well. Like I alluded to a while ago, we have some really good position battles. We have competition, and hopefully that will continue. But at some point, you want some young ladies to kind of separate themselves. And we're hoping over the next couple of weeks to see that happen. And but no, I'm really pleased with practice so far, and we'll finish up today, give them the weekend off, for their bodies to heal, and back at it Monday.
To look at what you've got this year and kind of go through the different groups anyway, and just kind of break it down, if you will, what you've got, what you kind of expect from this group at different positions on the roster.
Yeah, so you have Morgan Howard. Morgan, brings 3 years of experience at the setter position, and that's a really good position to have experience in. That's kind of like your quarterback on the team. And so you've got her, you've got Bree Perrin, a transfer, from Mississippi State that we're hoping is going to be a immediate impact for us. You have experience at middle with Kinsey Bill. Kinsey's been here for 4 years, and we're expecting her to have a really nice year for us. You have some other 4-4 transfers. Abby Cunningham. Abby is going to bring a lot of strength and explosiveness to the pen for us. Abby can hit the ball really, really hard, and that's something we need. We're going to be longer in the middle position. Hopefully that's going to allow us to bring a more formidable blocking presence. That's definitely, it was a big point of emphasis this offseason, is just finding more length at the net. And I think we did that. And with I mentioned Kinsey. We got Tatum Clay, a freshman, Zaria Lane, another freshman. Taylor Reed will also bring a lot of physicality to the net for us. At the outside hitter position, you have a returner in Nia Hall that I think has a chance to be special. He got hurt last year in the Marshall game and missed half the season, but still had 260 kills. And missed half the season. So we're really dependent on her to have a big year for us. You've got a couple of freshmen also competing at the outside hitter position, Mila Montevea and Grace Troxel. Those ladies bring a lot of, just athleticism, fast arms, and they're true six rotation players. You bring back experience at the libero position with Bree Rainey and Eden Peterzak. They throw in freshman Amelia Cologne. So there's a pretty good heated battle between those three. And, so yeah, good competition. So again, we look forward to seeing how that kind of pans out.
Last year, you had a lot of success in the early season, the non-conference schedule. And I think that's a big thing for this program is just finding wins right now, building that confidence and going from there. Just how does the non-conference this year set up? Do you kind of look for that to try to help build that chemistry, get that success, get that mentality going in the right direction?
Right. Yeah, I think our non-conference schedule overall could be a little tougher this year, which I'm okay with. Like you said, we were 9-4 going into the conference play last year. Sitting in a good spot with a lot of confidence. Obviously, the injury bug was not good to us last year, so hopefully we avoid that as much as possible. But you also want to find wins. Finding some wins, building confidence. We've got some experience. We also got a lot of young players as well. So hopefully we can find some wins and getting the win column early in the season. And but like you said, I do think that's important. To get off to a good start and hopefully just build momentum into conference play because it will not get any easier.
Conference play doesn't start off any easy. I mean, Arkansas State off the bat, and then Marshall, your first home conference matches on October 2nd. But what do you expect to see from the Sun Belt this year? I mean, you saw firsthand last year just how deep this conference can be in volleyball, but what do you expect to see this year?
Right. Well, I mean, I think it'll be the same this year. Nobody was really down. You didn't have that team that was, just having that down year. Really, everybody has strong athletes, had experience, and I figure it'll be, pretty much the same this year. I do think we have a nice conference home schedule. We got both Louisiana teams at home. So I don't think we have anything to complain about there. And we've actually been talking to our girls about that. We have a real opportunity this year, to defend our home court and, win some really nice, games at home, which is important to us as well. Winning on the road is always fun, but you've got to defend your home court. But I have no reason to believe that the Sun Belt, top to bottom, will not be really strong.
As far as too, I mean, typically in the past, I mean, as long as I've been around anyway, volleyball, they start the season. You might see them here and there at home. I know you got Northwestern State coming in on a Tuesday night. You might get a match like that, but typically on the road, those non-conference weekends. But this year, you do have a weekend where you got a couple of home matches. You've got McNeese here on a Thursday, Mississippi Valley on a Saturday, September 10th, September 12th. Just how important is it to get some of those home matches in non-conference for a program that historically hasn't had a lot of home non-conference matches?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And in the future, we're hoping to change that, being able to host more at home. But no, that'll be a big week for us. That would, we need to go 2-0 that week at home. And, here in front of we're hoping to see a packed gym full of rowdy Warhawks. And, but no, we always look forward to playing at home and, value every opportunity to play in front of our home crowd for sure.
You got a couple of exhibitions coming up, Jackson State over in Jackson, Friday, August 21st, and then, of course, Grambling here at B1 Bank Fant Coliseum, August 24th. To be able to have a couple exhibitions and just go after it there, just how do you deal with those? How do you work through those? Is it a chance to try different combinations? How do you approach exhibition play?
Yeah, exhibition. I mean, you want to play as many people as possible, but also you want to give your upper tier, a good look as well, and kind of identify some strengths, see some weaknesses, some things you can work on. To me, that's always, get exposed a little bit. Here's what we did well. This is what we did not do well. So that, exhibition, just, inter squads are good, but it's different when you're playing someone in a, different colored uniform. So just, got a young team, and I'm glad we were able to get those 2 exhibition games before, anything official.
You got those 2 exhibition games. Official matches start Friday, August 28th. Home opener Tuesday, September 1st against Northwestern State. Before you head off to Commerce and East Texas A&M to open up the regular season, what do you want to see from this club over the next few weeks as they get ready for that point?
Yeah, consistency. Just bringing a really good attitude to the gym every day, and making the most of every rep. You only get so many practices, you only get so many opportunities to prepare. This is, like I said, 70% new team. We've got a lot of chemistry to build, and to find glue, and we're hoping that leaders will emerge. And I think we've got some young ladies with some natural leadership ability, and we need them to exhibit that. And so again, just consistency, and coming in every day and working hard, and let's say let's just keep this kind of the 1% rules, we call it. Get 1% better every day.
Coach, as always, thanks for the time. I appreciate it. And man, I'm hoping my schedule works out. I can get out to Fant and see you here a little bit more before you get into conference play. But best of luck, Coach.
I appreciate it, Mike, and I look forward to seeing you. And as always, go Warhawks.